How do I deal with disappointment? This is something that I've asked myself, and I know many of my friends have asked the same question. How do we deal with this hard reality of life, disappointment? Now, for many of us, we'd say, yeah, I have been let down. Yes, I have been let down by friends, my family members, by colleagues. But more specifically here, how do we deal with being disappointed in faith? Feeling as though we've been let down by God. This is actually a much bigger issue. I just want to say a few things here. One is this: as Christians, we've got to admit that this is a reality. Yes, we've got to say, yes, I have been let down. I do feel like I've been let down. So we must not just sort of avoid the topic, but more than that. Let's look to a couple things here. One is silence. So many times I've heard it, and often I've said myself, God is silent. It doesn't seem as though He's heard my prayer. Well, how do I deal with that? Here's one helpful thing here. God's silence does not necessarily mean inactivity. Just because God is silent does not mean He's not working or speaking or ministering. In fact, God might be working in profound ways despite us not hearing Him. More than that, what do we do with feelings? What do we do when we actually simply do not feel God near to us? We do believe in a God who is real. It's not just an interesting idea, but He is real. He's a God who can be known, and we feel His presence. Sometimes we do feel Him near and close to us. How do we deal with this when we do not feel Him near? Well, let me explain it like this. Think about the cross of Christ, this massive moment in history in which Jesus Christ, took on the enormity of evil and sin. It's a magnificent moment in which He actually reconciled the world to Himself. He made a way so we can have a personal relation with God. But also, if you think in the moment there, it was a very dark moment. And if I were there, perhaps with His friends and His family, looking at Christ on the cross, it would have felt very dark. I don't think they felt God there in that moment. If anything, they probably would have concluded, at least when I put myself in their shoes, I think God was not there. He might have been other places, but God was not there. But the amazing thing is this: God, in a secretive way, actually was there. He was there in that very dark moment, working out the salvation of the world. How do we deal with disappointment? One, we've got to say it is real. It is a hard reality of life, but it's more than that. When we feel that God is silent, He's still working. Silence does not mean inactivity. And when we do not feel Him, when we do not feel God near to us, we need to remind ourselves that actually He might be working in significant ways.